Today we're dealing with decimals, decimal fractions, rounding off, addition and subtraction, and multiplication and division of fractions. So I'm going to start off with a nice basic one, my 0,3, which is going to give you what? 3/10. How do I know it's 3/10? Because I have one decimal place after my comma, one decimal. That means I'm only going to have 1 0. So if I've got 0,43, that is going to give me what? How many decimal places? 1, 2. Because I've got two decimal places, I'm going to have 1, 2 zeros over there, which is going to have 43. Right, so if I've got, let's say, 2,61, I'm going to first put a big 2 over there, which is equal to 2. Then I'm going to have 61 at the top. How many decimal places? 1, 2. So I'm going to have 100 over there. Right? You can do the same thing when you're dealing with what's your fractions. So if I've got, let's say, 31 over 1,000, 1, 2, 3, that will give me what? I've got 1, 2, 3 zeros over there. So that means I'm going to have 0, comma. How many spaces should I have? 3. I should have 1, 2, 3 spaces over there. So 0, 3, 1. 1, 1, 2, 3. 3 spaces. So it's going to be 0, comma 0, 3, 1 over there. Right. So I've got those 3 spaces there. That is your fractions with your decimal places. Now, sometimes when they give you fractions, they won't give you to a 10 or something like that. They'll give you something a bit, what's it? Bit different. So I've got 2/5 over here. Now I need to convert that to a decimal. So I'm going to try to convert that 5, my denominator, into what? A 10. So I can multiply this over here by 2/2. Right, 2/2 is equal to 1, and anything to the power of 1, anything that is times 1 is going to give you the same number. So 2 times 2, 2 times 2 over here is going to give you what? 4. And 5 times 2 is going to give you what? 10. So I've got 4/10, which is equal to what? 0,4. Right, so yeah, there's other things that you can do with that, but let's try one more out. I've got 3/25. So you can try this by yourself. You can pause the video. You can multiply this by 4/4, which is going to equal what? 3 times 4 is 12/100, which is equal to 0,12 over there. Right, so that is this with your fractions as well as your decimal places. Yeah, nothing too difficult. Hopefully you guys understood that. Now we're going to be rounding off. Now rounding off is similar to your whole numbers, except now you're going to be dealing with decimals. So if I say round off to 2 decimal places, I'm trying my best here. Decimal places, 2 decimal places. So let's say I've got 1,3,4,2,6. Right, looking at that number there, this over here where my 4 is, that is my second decimal place. So I look at the numbers afterwards. Right, so this 6 is greater than 5, so it'll change this 2 over here into a 3, and this 3 now is what? Smaller than 5. So what's going to happen to this 4 over here? This 4 over here. What's going to happen there? Nothing. So your answer is 1,34. Right? That is going to be your 2 decimal places. So if I've got, let's say, 6,375, and I ask you to round off to 2 decimal places, it is going to be 6,38. Why? Because this 5 over here is going to change this 7 to a 8. So it's 6 comma through 8. So you can see it is 2 decimal places. Right. There is going to also be a time where you have to look at the whole decimal. Right. So if I have over here 0 comma 3 6 4 7, and I ask you to round off to 2 decimal places again, we are looking at that 6 over there, but we need to concentrate on 4 and 7 to either change that 6 to a 7 or leave that 6 as a 6. So I'm first going to look at this 7 over here. Very important. Is this 7 going to affect this 4 over here? Yes or no? Yes, it will. So then it is going to be 0 comma 3 6 5. But I've asked you to change this 6 over here to to look at your second decimal place. So that 6 over there is then going to change to a 7. So it's going to be 0 comma 3 7 over there. Why? Because this 7 over here has changed this 4 into a 5, and that 5 is going to change this 6 into a 7. So therefore your answer is going to be 0 comma 3 7. Right, that is your decimal rounding off. Next, we're going to be looking at addition and subtraction. And we know that any number, any decimal number has an infinite amount of zeros. So if I've got 3 comma 1, then you know it's 3 comma 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, infinity. It goes on and on forever. Right, so if I, for instance, say 13 comma 1 3 plus 2 comma 6 2 1, I must add those up together. Right, so I'm going to do what? So I'm going to say 13 comma 1 3 plus can't say plus over there, plus, that is a plus if you can't see it, sorry about that, it's going to be 2 comma 6 2 1. Right, now the issue here is there's no number over here. Right, there's no number here, but we know after this 3 over here, after this 3, I can have an infinite amount of zeros. So I'll put a 0 over there. So 0 plus 1 is going to give you 1. 3 plus 2 is going to give you 5. 1 plus 6 is going to give you 7, comma 3 plus 2 is 5, and a 1 over there. So your answer is 15 comma 751. Right, you can do the same thing with subtraction. So we're going to try one now with subtraction. I'm going to say over here 26 comma 1 2 minus 13 comma 6. So I've got here now 26 comma 1 2 minus 13 comma 6. As you can see again, I have no number over here, right? No number over here. So what do? I can add a 0 over there. Why? Because I've got an infinite amount of zeros. So 2 minus 0 is going to give you 2. 1 minus 6 you cannot do. So take away from our 6. So changes it to a 5. Put a 1 over there. So I've got 11. 11 minus 6 is 5. 5 minus 3 is 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. So your final answer over there is 12 comma 5 2. Right. Now we're going to be moving on to the last one, which is multiplication and division. Your multiplication and division. Right, so let's look at this one over here. 2 comma 6 times, let's go with 4 comma 2. Now let's look here. How many decimal places do I have? I have 1 over here and 1 over here. In total, that gives me 2 decimals. Right, so I'm going to treat this as what? As whole numbers. So I'm going to take away my decimals. I'm going to say 26 times 42. Don't forget your imaginary 0 over there, because we only have one extra number. We only have one extra number over here by my 4. After this, 2. So 2 times 6 is going to give you 12 over here. So I'm going to put a 1 up here. 2 times 2 now is going to give you 4, plus that 1 is going to give you 5. Now, 4 times 6 is going to give you 24. I'm going to put a 2 here now instead. And 4 times 2 is 8, plus that 2 is going to give you 10. Now, this is very important over here. You can see I'm going to add them up. 2, 9, and 10. I asked you in the start how many decimal places did I have originally. Right? I had 1 over here and 1 over here. There's 6 over here and that 2 over there. Together, I have 2 decimal places, which means I need to have 2 decimal places down here. So your final answer is going to be 10,92. I now have 2 decimal places over there after you have multiplied. Right, that is very important. That's a nice way to see, a nice shortcut as to how you're going to be doing that. Right, and then lastly, our division. Let's look at our division over here. Our division is, let's go with 0,54 divided by, let's go to 0,6. Right, so first thing, let's try to change that to a fraction. So it'll be 0,54 divided by 0,6. Right, now, you can even do this with the 0 over there. Now, that's a fraction, and it is a decimal, and we want to make it easier for ourselves. So let's try and change this over here into whole numbers. So I want to change all of it over here, and you can see I've got 2 decimal places. So I'm going to multiply this over here by 100 over 100, right? Which is going to then change this left-hand side to 54 over 60. Now I've got a whole number here. Now I can say 54 divided by 60, right? Still a bit difficult, so let's simplify this. So I'm going to say divided over here by what number can go into both of them? 6 over 6, which is going to give you 9 over 10 as your final answer. Right, that is your decimals. That is addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, rounding off, and how to write it as a fraction or as a decimal. Right, thank you very much.